I told y'all she was a mean girl.
Hello? You're currently on the phone with Casey K. Yep, that's me.
Merry Christmas Eve, everybody. Sorry, my voice is better than it was a couple days ago, but it's still a little raspy. Also, this is the first time I'm talking for the day, so that might be why. But everyone's like, "Are you sick? Are you sick?" And I'm like, I mean, I guess I must be a little bit, but I don't feel sick. Like, I'm not tired. I can breathe still. My throat is like scratchy, but it doesn't hurt. Like, I don't know what this is. But I contribute a lot of not being super sick to my Martha Stewart juice that I've been drinking. And yeah, I already talked about it before, but it's got like celery and oranges and peaches. No, not peaches, pears. What else? Oranges, blueberries. So I think I'm getting a lot of nutrients. But yeah, I don't know. I don't say I'm sick, but like every time I started talking the other day, everyone's like, "Are you like? Do you feel okay?" I'm like, "I feel fine. My voice is just. I don't know. I don't know what it's doing." But anyway, it is Christmas Eve, and it does not feel like Christmas at all. We went shopping yesterday because we're having a family party today, and then Christmas Day, everyone's coming to my house and doing Christmas, like opening presents. And we always do what's called egg gravy. And I guess it's a Danish dish. Because, is that right? Yeah, I think so. Anyway, basically it's like gravy with boiled eggs in it. And it sounds really weird. It's like a bechamel sauce, I guess you could call it. Then you make those biscuits and crumple them all up and then put the egg gravy over top of it. And we have done that every year since I've been alive, honestly. And I don't know how much longer before that, but yeah, so we went shopping to get like all the food and stuff. And it was like 50 degrees. And there's still a little bit of snow here at my house, but once you get farther north into Utah County, there is no snow at all. So I don't know. It feels weird. It's supposed to snow Christmas Day. I don't know if that's gonna still happen. I like it when it snows Christmas Eve, like the night. But I don't think that's gonna happen. Anyway, what should we get into today? Oh, my intro. I guess we'll start with this. My intro is because of Brianna Chicken Fry. Well, I don't. What's her real last name? Brianna, something with a P. I don't know. I've always gotten off vibes from her. Like, you just know when you can tell someone's just not nice. And I think I talked about this before. So she's the one that Zach Bryan broke up with, and he was like emotionally abusive to her, psychologically abusive, all that stuff. So he broke up with her over a Instagram story, and she had no idea, but she did the same thing to her best friend, who they had a podcast with. I don't even know what the podcast is, honestly. Her friend is O Malley, though, and she found out that Brianna was not continuing the podcast with her over Instagram, I think, or a text. And I'm like, you did the same exact thing to your best friend that you have been expressing to the whole world how upset and sad you are. And you did it to your best friend like 2 weeks later. And so anyway, everyone is tagging Alex Cooper, who probably has one of the biggest podcasts in the whole world. Besides, like, I mean, she's up there with like Joe Rogan, Dax Shepard. Like, it's truly one of the most listened to podcasts in the world, honestly. She used to be a part of Barstool Sports, which I don't. I've always got weird vibes from them. It just seems very bro-y, and that's who she used to be signed with, and that's who Brianna Chicken Fry is signed with, also Grace O Malley. So anyway, everyone was tagging Alex Cooper in the Call Her Daddy podcast to bring Grace O Malley on the podcast and talk about it. So I don't think an episode has come out yet, but they definitely met and talked on the phone for like 30 minutes, she said. And apparently she is now signed to Alex Cooper's label, which is called Unwell. I don't know. I guess Dave Portnoy, he owns Barstool Sports, if I'm correct. And I don't know if Alex Cooper had a falling out with him or what. It kind of sounds like it, but she went on to do her own thing and makes, millions and millions and millions of dollars. She signed with Sirius XM. Can't remember how much it was. I want to say 100 million, I think, which is so insane to me because again, I'll say it, I feel like Sirius XM is about to file bankruptcy at any moment. Speaking of, did you hear Party City is going out of business? They told all their employees at their Christmas party, I think, a couple days ago. And Big Lots is going out of business. And if you remember from a few episodes ago, Seth Marks, Meredith Marks' husband from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, is, can't even remember the title of what his job is. It's some made-up title. He's like the marketer of, no, what is he? The curator, the sourcer of finding good deals, pretty much is what the definition of his job is. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see what happens. Anyway, back to Brianna. Yeah, but like Whitney Cummings is like, do I need to like work at Barstool Sports as like the HR person? Because like so much stuff goes on and like harassment and bullying and all this stuff. And Dave Portnoy's trying to be like this hero, this martyr. He's like, Grace has a year and a half left on her contract and I could make her stay here, but I am not going to do that because I'm a nice guy and I'm going to let her out of the contract. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know. I feel like Alex Cooper has more money than you and could very easily get Grace out of her contract. But like, back to Brianna, she just gives off mean vibes, you just watch her. Like, I don't know much about her, but from what I've heard, it's never like the best. Like, I guess she was like bullying Swifties for years and years and years, which is a common thing. I'm not being like, oh, boohoo, poor Swifties. And then now all of a sudden she likes Taylor Swift and she went to the concert. Like, it was like a 180-degree shift. And she's like, oh, I understand you guys now. I'm like, after years of harassment, you just all of a sudden understand. And then I guess she was showing everybody in the office Trisha Paytas's OnlyFans account and like laughing and gagging. Like, they have it all on video, like laughing and gagging and like making fun of her. And I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen with you in the future, but you're kind of just a mean girl. So, whatever happens, happens. But it sounds like Barstool's not doing so well at the moment. I don't even know who is signed to Barstool. Should we find out? What podcasts are on Barstool? Barstool. I have literally... This must be old. Because I don't think... It says Call Her Daddy is still on here. I don't think that's true. Okay, BFF's podcast. That's probably one of the bigger ones. Dave Portnoy, Josh Richards, and Brianna Chicken Fry. Chicks at the Office. What's that? That's not the one with... The Office Lady. Oh, that's The Office Ladies. I just answered my question. Pardon My Take, Spittin' Chicklets, Call Her Daddy, KFC Radio, The Unnamed Show. Yeah, I don't know, like, any of these, so sorry to this man. Anyway, what else? What else is on my list? I forgot a few important things last week. Oh, first of all, I have to shout out my brother Jed and my cousin Taylor. They are... I guess avid listeners of the podcast, so thank you for supporting me. They asked me about it the other day, and I'm like, you still listen? Yeah, every once in a while. I'm like, oh, well, thank you. I appreciate it. It's just funny because they're like ranchers and truck drivers and stuff. So the fact that they tune in to listen to what color Miley Cyrus's hair is for the week and, you know, which celebs are fighting with who is kind of funny to me, but I'll take it. I appreciate it. I'm going to do my 5 favorite Christmas movies because, well, why not? These are in no particular order. I used to despise this movie. I don't know why. I liked it and then I hated it and now I like it again. And I feel like this movie is very hit and miss. Like either people really love it or they hate it. And I don't know, the animation is kind of freaky, I will say that. But the Polar Express, I think I watched it like 5 or 6 times last year. My cousin was like, "You're watching this again?" I'm like, please leave me alone. This is my comfort movie right now, and I really, really like it. Did you guys see that TikTok of, it's when they're on the back of the train, and the little boy's singing, he's like looking off to the back, and the 2 other kids are behind him, and he doesn't know, and he starts singing, and then the little girl starts singing, but she opens her mouth, and it's a Nickelback song, and the little boy like jumps. It's like perfectly timed. Like, I don't know who came up with that or thought of that, but it was hilarious. Okay, Polar Express, The Grinch, obviously, Christmas with the Cranks, Just Friends. How many is that? 4? Polar Express, The Grinch, Christmas with the Cranks, Just Friends. I have one more. Oh, that's hard. There's a lot of good ones. The only ones that are coming to my mind right now is like Home Alone. You know which one I love? Which movie I actually really, really love is Home Alone 3. And it's like none of the same characters. I'm pretty sure Scarlett Johansson is in that. Which is she's little. Like, not little, but she's a teenager. Hang on, let me look. But I just remember really loving this movie. It was so good. 1997. It's based in Chicago. Is that where the original one is? And he has to like fight off these like criminals. I can't remember what they're after. It's something like a hard drive or anyway, it doesn't matter. Alex Pruitt, an 8-year-old boy living in Chicago, must fend off 4 international criminals. Oh yeah, here we go. Who are seeking a top secret microchip in his toy car. Oh yeah, I remember this. Oh, sorry. Who's in it? Where? Yeah, Scarlett Johansson. She's the sister. I forgot. I didn't forget, but I wasn't quite sure. Anyway, I love that one. But I think probably Home Alone or Home Alone 2. I like Elf. It's funny, but I feel like it's been played so many times. What else was I watching the other day? I watched Santa Claus at the gym while I ran 3 miles. So anyway, yeah, so last week I missed some very important news. Selena Gomez is engaged, and she's engaged to Benny Blanco, and people are kind of up in arms about this. They have been since the dawn of this relationship. Let's just say she's very, 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 very beautiful. And he's just a boy. he's just Benny. People also don't like him because he's kind of weird and he's done weird things in the past. Kind of like bully his dog and like embarrass his dog on camera and just other weird things. But he is one of the biggest producers and songwriters in Hollywood. So his most popular song, probably, well, I don't know, I can't say most popular, but so I'll just name off a few of the popular ones. Perfect by Ed Sheeran, Love Yourself by Justin Bieber, Issues by Julia Michaels. I remember when that song came out. I can like remember the Instagram story Selena Gomez posted like very vividly. Like they're in the studio and she's like, one of my dearest friends and greatest writers just released her first song ever and it's so good. Like, you know when you just remember really random stuff? That's one of those things. Senorita by Shawn Mendes and Camila Cabello. What else? East Side by, I think he's titled in that, by Halsey and, is it Khalid? Cold Water, Justin Bieber, 2002, Anne Marie. What other songs? Nightmare, Halsey, Animals. I was going to say Imagine Dragons. Maroon 5. Did you know Benson Boone is signed to Dan Reynolds' label? And if you're not sure who Dan Reynolds is, it's the Imagine Dragons guy. I think that's kind of interesting. But it sounds like Warner Media bought them, so I don't know how much Dan Reynolds actually has to do with it anymore. He's produced for Cardi B, The Weeknd, TikTok by Kesha, Crying in the Club, Camila Cabello, California Girls, I Kissed a Girl, Teenage Dream, Diamonds by Rihanna, Eeny Meeny, Justin Bieber. What else? Black Widow, Iggy Azalea. That was supposed to be a Katy Perry song. Same Old Love, Selena Gomez. Dynamite, Dial Cruz. Hot and Cold, Katy Perry. Moves Like Jagger. One of Selena Gomez's new one, Single Soon. So yeah, he does a lot. Die Young by Kesha. Anyway, yeah, they're getting married. They're getting Obsessed. He worked on Obsessed by Addison Rae. Okay, I kind of have to stand him now because that song is so good. A lot of Ariana Grande's first stuff. Anyway, yeah, so congratulations to those two. Someone was so mean. They put like a picture of an altar, like a wedding ceremony thing. Like no one was sitting there yet or anything, and it says the song Selena Gomez is gonna walk down the aisle to, and it was Beauty and the Beast from the movie, obviously. But people are so mean. You know what else is also so mean? So Aaron Taylor Johnson, people don't like his wife because it's not just because she's older than him, it's because when they got married he was 18 or something. He was really young, and so people just didn't like that. And he has a new movie out called Nosferatu, which is about that vampire thing, which actually I guess is stolen from Dracula. My friends are talking about this because I have no desire to see this movie. And they've tried to get rid of this story many times, and they just haven't. And if you're wondering if that sounds familiar, it's because on SpongeBob, on the hash slinging slasher episode, the really random part where they're like, well, why are the lights flickering? And they look over and they're like, Nosferatu, and he's just this creepy looking guy flicking on the light switch. That's where I know him from, but apparently it's a real thing. And I've been asked if I want to go see this movie, and I'm like, no, I don't, because in the commercial, he bites off a pigeon's head. So I don't think I will be seeing this movie ever, anytime at all. So, but anyways, what I was saying is Aaron Taylor Johnson was on the red carpet with his wife. I can't even remember her name, but she's a director. I think she directed, what movie? The new Priscilla movie, was it? Or was that Gia Coppola? Let's find out. Sorry. Just gotta figure out how to type. Who? That movie was kind of sad. I listened to the Him and Her Skinny Confidential podcast, and it had Kaylee. Is that her name? No, Riley, the granddaughter of Elvis. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, so that's why I'm not saying it. No, it was Sofia Coppola who did this. I can't remember what movie she did, the lady I'm talking about. Anyway, but she finished writing her mom's memoir, I guess you could say. And it sounds really interesting, so I kind of want to read it. Anyway, they were on the red carpet, and someone's like, oh, look how sweet. Aaron Taylor Johnson brought Nosferatu to the premiere of the movie. I'm like, that is so mean. People are so vicious. And the fact that they dare say this stuff, I have a hard time saying stuff like that because what if I meet them in the future? And I know that sounds delusional, but I mean, the line of work I'm doing right now, I very well could meet some of these people. So I'm like, I want to be on my best behavior, except for when it comes to Kanye West or Who else? I don't know. You know what I was also thinking? I was reading Interview Magazine the other day, and it was a Northwest segment, and I sorry, and I honestly wasn't going to read it because I just, like I said, I don't care about celebrities' kids, honestly, unless they start doing their own thing, but not like Northwest is doing. But Kim Kardashian was one that interviewed her, and a lot of people, I'm sure, like think she's a terrible parent and terrible mom or whatever because they just, I don't know. It's just like they hate her already, so they're just assuming that she's a terrible mom. But she's always said that she does not bring the kids in on the drama between her and Kanye, and she keeps them shielded from the outside world as much as she can. She turns off all the comments like on North's TikTok, and I'm like, that's probably true. I'm not denying that, but reading this interview, it's very clear that she has done that because of the way North speaks about her dad. You can tell she just doesn't really know a lot of the back stories behind things and a lot of stuff that's actually gone on and stuff he said about her family. Like, you can just tell that she doesn't know, and that's just her dad. That's all she knows is, and she loves her dad. And Kim never says anything negative about him. Whenever, like, I think there was a question where she was like, "Who's your three top idols or whatever in music or something?" And she named two other people and then her dad. And Kim's like, "Those are awesome answers, you know." And just like it went on like that throughout the interview. And I'm like, oh, you are much stronger than I am, because I would be making comments, I would be doing all kinds of things. But so, you know, when she says that in the show, she's actually doing it. She's not just saying she does it. She actually does it because it's very clear North does not know all the things her dad has done, especially to her mom. So anyway, I don't know how I got on this subject. What else? What was I talking about? I was talking about the premiere of the movie. Oh, celebrities' kids. Is that what I was talking about? Anyway, let's move on. Carpool Karaoke is back, and I don't know why I haven't watched it yet. It just came out last week, I think. There's only 3 episodes. It's on Apple TV. And James Corden is not the interviewer. I think he's laying low. I think we got a little too much of him there for a minute. Like, he was in like every movie for like years. And I don't not like him, but I'm just curious why he had to be in like every single movie. Like, I mean, he was like in Cats, which I never saw that, but anyway, it says James Corden passes the keys to Zane Lowe. If you're wondering who Zane Lowe is, he is like the main radio interviewer person on Apple Music. He's the one that interviews like all the big celebrities right before their albums come out. Stuff like, oh my gosh, sorry, stuff like that. And okay, so anyways, it's a pop diva winter wonderland when Zayn gets festive with Dua Lipa in Japan, Chappell Roan in Missouri, that's where she's from, and Lady Gaga in Los Angeles. So I've seen like clips and stuff, but I didn't realize it was this good of a lineup. So maybe that's what I'll be doing tomorrow. Tomorrow is the first Christmas Eve I've had off in a long time. And I usually did not mind working Christmas Eve, honestly, because it was just kind of like, you know, those days in schools when it was like right before Christmas break and you'd kind of just walk around and give your friends presents, and the teachers really didn't care what you did. They always had like Charlie Brown Christmas on or just like some Christmas movie. The lights were dimmed. Like, no one was taking anything seriously, really. That's kind of how my old job was. And it was just, you know, casual. We usually left at like noon. I was able to finish up, like, if we forgot something, just go shopping really quick and then go home. But yeah, this time I have the whole day off, so it's gonna be kind of nice. I think I might sleep in till 7, and I probably gonna watch all these Carpool Karaokes. I'm gonna watch Polar Express. I do have a little bit of shopping to do before we're going to my cousin's Christmas Eve and playing games and stuff. So I think I'll do that. But I'm kind of excited just to have a day to do nothing. And I don't really get those a lot. Even when I'm home, I feel like I can't not do something, you know? And then that in turn turns into me not doing anything because I'm like, well, I gotta do this, and I gotta do this, and I gotta do this, and I overwhelm myself, and I don't get much done. So I don't know if that's a sign of mental illness, but oh well. So Charlotte fans from Sex and the City, there is a new podcast coming out called Are You a Charlotte? I'm sorry, I know this is so annoying that I'm sick, and well, I'm not really sick. I just sound sick. I just haven't talked this much, you know, in a while, so it's just sounding a lot worse than it really is. What's her name? Are You a Charlotte? Who plays Charlotte? Why did I just forget her name? Now, how do I spell Charlotte? Anyway, it's the girl from Sex and the City who plays Charlotte, obviously. She has a new podcast coming out, I think, in January, I want to say. And I'm really annoyed I can't figure out her name. Kristen Davis, that's who it is. She really loves elephants. Did you guys know that in real life? Like, goes and, like, works on elephant farms and, like, does charity work for them and all kinds of things. But she's in a Christmas movie, too, with... oh my gosh, why am I forgetting his name? Rob Lowe. And it's actually about like an elephant sanctuary. It says iHeart Podcasts announces Are You a Charlotte? Also, how is iHeartMedia still America's #1 audio company? How? Reaching 9 out of 10 Americans every month? I don't believe that. Sorry. I don't. You have to get me some proof on that because that's really hard for me to believe. It says New York and Los Angeles, December 16th. Wait, what is this? No, I don't know what that is. Tune into the premiere episode January 13th, 2025. Kristen Davis is best known for her unforgettable portrayal of the ever-hopeful Charlotte York in the Emmy and Golden Globe winning series Sex and the City. For 6 stylish seasons, Davis brought so many heartfelt moments to the TV series and then reprised her role in 2 successful feature films, Sex and the City and Sex and the City 2. Most recently, she returned to her beloved character in Max series and Just Like That. More about Are You a Charlotte podcast. Actress Kristen Davis's life was forever changed when she took the role of Charlotte on Sex and the City. As fans watched Carrie, Samantha, Miranda, and Charlotte navigate relationships in New York, the show helped push once unacceptable conversation topics of the shadows and altered the narrative around women and sex. Many saw themselves in the characters as they searched for fulfillment in life, sex, and friendships. Can you tell me what it's about? I don't know. Apparently it's if you relate to Charlotte. Are You a Charlotte is much more than just rewatching a beloved show. It'll bring the past and present together as Davis and friends talk with heart, humor, and of course optimism. So I wonder who her guests will be. I'm sure, wouldn't it be crazy if she got Kim Cattrall on? If you're wondering why that would be so crazy, it's because Kim Cattrall hates Sarah Jessica Parker. I think it's a little bit better now. They kind of made amends, but she would not come back and do the show because she said she had such an awful time and basically referenced that Sarah Jessica Parker was not nice to work with, and it kind of blindsided everybody and fans and staff, crew, I guess you could say, and Sarah Jessica. And I don't know, apparently Kim Cattrall did not have as good of a time on the show as everyone else did, and no one really seemed to know that until this all happened. But Kim Cattrall made a statement. She says, I don't want to be in any situation for more than 1 second that I'm not happy with. I'm like, that is a good quote, but you also have millions of dollars, so that cannot pertain to most people because we have to work. Anyway, what else? Ariana, her label, Ariana Grande, said she is not touring next year. So that is sad yet happy because my wallet is like in a lot of pain right now. And I've always liked Ariana. I've been to 2 of her concerts and she's really good. She kind of lost me on most of Sweetener. And I didn't hate Eternal Sunshine at first. I just didn't love most of the songs. But obviously We Can't Be Friends is a much different story. I didn't love Yes And. I loved Supernatural. But now, oh my gosh, was it last week or the week before? I listened to it nonstop for like 5 days. The whole album. I'm like, okay, I get it. So I've never not been a fan of hers, but I've never been like the biggest fan, you know. And now it's changing. There's something in the air that's changing. But I bet she's just tired. I bet she just wants a break. Plus she has to do a whole other press tour next year for Wicked. And I don't blame her. She's probably got so much money. It's probably like, again, where do they put all this money? Ariana Grande net worth. I've heard that these are inaccurate, and someone said this is not. They inflate the numbers, and then someone who is a rich person on a TV show I used to watch, a reality show, they said always go higher. So I don't know. Ariana Grande, musician, $72 million, 2020 celebrity earnings. So in 2020 she made $72 million apparently. Why isn't it just showing me $230 million? That is crazy. It doesn't surprise me because she has all of those fragrances. I think they've sold 1 billion on their own. I was at Ulta yesterday. How much fragrance? And Ariana has like an entire shelf dedicated to her. I also smelled Bella Hadid's perfume line. There are 2 that should never have been made. There's 4 of them. There's 2 that have never been made and 2 that are like, okay. I don't know if I don't want to wear this to my body, but they do smell good. Let's see. Ariana Grande has created 8 perfumes. Ari, her debut. Oh, I'm not going to read all of them. Yeah, I was correct in my head. Grande's perfume line has earned over $1 billion globally in retail sales. So I wonder how much she must not make that much off of them, because I think a lot of her money comes from music, and she's been doing music for a long time. And for $1 billion, that's like not a lot of. That's not a lot of earnings on that. You know what I mean? I don't know. What am I? A businessman? Apparently, though, when they got their contracts for Wicked, she sat down with Cynthia Erivo and they went through, or I guess she called her, and they went through their contracts line by line because she wanted it to be fair and accurate between the 2 of them. And I'm like, that's awesome. Like, your name is obviously a huge part of carrying this movie and drawing people in. Yeah, I mean, Wicked's huge and massive on its own, you know, but Ariana has how many Instagram like followers? Like, she has one of the most faithful and loyal fan bases I've ever come across. Let's just see how many Instagram followers she has. 376 million dollars. 376 million followers. So that just goes to show. Anyway, I don't know if someone wants to do math for me. How much do you think? What percentage do you think she has in a stake of her perfume line? Because for 8 perfumes and $1 billion and a $230 million net worth, that doesn't seem like very much. You know what I mean? Obviously, it's a massive amount of money, but do you guys see that Sydney Sweeney and Sofia Vergara had dinner in New York? My niece always makes fun of me. She's like, you always say, did you see, did you know, did you hear? They're like, no, that's why I listen to your podcast. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know how to segue into different topics. So that's just how I go. Anyway, those 2 had dinner in New York the other day, and Sydney Sweeney's fiance was with them. And I'm like, I wonder if a TV show's in the works. I wonder if a movie's in the works. What could it be? What wonderful things are we going to be getting? I just always wonder how much stuff is going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. Like how many movies are being made, how many albums are being written, how many TV shows are in the works, who is the next up and coming person. You know what I mean? There's just so much to wonder about and think about. Okay, finally, the streaming services are getting a grip on reality. So did you see? Well, all of them have raised their prices. I'm not kidding. Like every single one of them in the past couple months are raising their prices. And YouTube TV has raised their prices again. It's like $80. No, I actually think it's $90. I think it's $90. And it used to be like what, 40 maybe? That's what I pay for Sling. I honestly should just get rid of that because I don't watch it as much as I used to. Or I think I got it for the MTV Music Awards. But it's just fun. I just love having old-fashioned TV on in the background. I do. I love to have my music going, and I love to have the TV on. And I love when they play like movies on TV. I know people think that's weird. I understand. I get it. But the commercial is it's just nostalgic for me. It just makes me feel like back when I was younger, doing my household chores and having the TV on, having SpongeBob on in the background, you know. Anyway, HBO is $17 or $18. Netflix is, I think the highest package is $25 now. Hulu is like $20. Like this, it's just getting out of hand. Now, like everyone's just like, well, can't we just have one? Like at this point, we're paying the same as cable. And I still don't understand why cable hasn't jumped on the bandwagon of cable and satellite of just letting people pick the channels they want. Like, come on. We don't need 7,000 channels. Let us choose the ones we want. Do like an a la carte. Is that what that means? An a la carte thing. And if we extend, it's like a certain amount of channels you can pick from. And if you want to do more, you have to go in the next bracket and you can do, so many more. I don't know. And like, I went apartment hunting with my friend Mallory a couple weeks ago. Not for me, obviously, but for her. And every single apartment complex had a media package. And it ranged between like $70 and $150. And it was non-negotiable. You had to get it because it included your Wi-Fi. But it also had to include DirecTV. And I'm like, why? And it's just because DirecTV has made deals with all these apartment places, and that's how they're still staying afloat. Again, it's like SiriusXM, it's like iHeartRadio. I'm sorry, I don't believe that stat that they said 9 out of 10 Americans, the number one audio, probably because they own every single radio station. But again, who's listening to radio? The only time I listen to radio is if my phone is dead or if I'm driving around in like the backhoe or the tractor. Like I don't ever listen to FM radio. Did I ever tell you guys when I was younger? So like where I grew up, you really couldn't get radio stations. I think you get like one country radio station that played old music. And so I never listened to it. And plus that was like when I was in 5th grade, I think is when the iPod came out. And so like we just never really had to listen to the radio, honestly. And before that was CDs and whatever. So my mom bought a new car when I was in 7th grade and it came with satellite radio. And they're like, finally radio with no ads. And they would play like these little intermissions of like them advertising for their radio shows. And honestly, they were like 20 seconds and they would happen every like, 3 hours. And I'm like, these guys are lying. Like there's so many ads. Like what, this is false advertising, whatever. So then when I got my second job, we always had a radio going, and this was in Salt Lake. And I could not believe the amount of commercials. I'm like, oh, so what I thought were commercials were not commercials. These commercials are so obnoxious, so insane, so long. I'm like, okay, I get it now. I get why Sirius XM is the way it is. Also, when I got Spotify for the first time, the only reason I got it is because this influencer would make playlists every quarter, and he had really cool music taste. And I was just trying to branch out from my, 5 different artists that I listen to. But he'd only do them on Spotify. And at that point I had Google Play, which is no longer even a thing anymore. And also at that point is when I was very frugal, which I know you guys are listening to this thinking, something about this story is not adding up. No, there was a point in my life I didn't have a credit card. All I had was a debit card. And I had 2 jobs for a whole year. I would literally wake up, go to work from 8 to 4:30. I would have 20 minutes to drive from my first job to my second job. I'd work there for 4 or 5 hours a night, then come home. And on Tuesdays, I'd go in at 4 a.m. to my second job, then go to my first job, and then come home. Like, I was never home. My whole goal was just to pay off my debt, which is minuscule compared to now. But I'm like, hey, I'm not going to get the paid version of Spotify. I'm just not going to do it. Like, I've already got Google Play. I'm not going to be crazy and spend all this money. And after about 30 minutes of hearing the same advertisements over and over and over again after 2 songs, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get Spotify. I'm going to pay for it. And you know what? I don't regret it at all. One bit, not one bit. And I always tell people, if I had to get rid of every streaming service and only be able to have one, this includes like Netflix and all these things, Spotify would be kept for sure. Like, there's no doubt about it. The other day we were at playing bingo. We were talking about our Spotify Wrapped, and I was like, yeah, I got to 97,000 minutes this year. And I'm like, I was so close to 100. My goal for next year is I have to get to 100,000 minutes. And my friend Allie's like, the crazy thing is you don't have to do that. And I'm like, no, the crazy thing is I do have to do that because I cannot be that close to 100,000 minutes and not reach it. Plus, it's not going to be a stretch. Like, I will definitely get there. I don't know. My friend Peyton's like, I got 40,000 minutes, and I thought that was a lot. I'm like, no, that's pathetic. That's pathetic compared to my number. And then my sister-in-law, I think it's so funny. She had like 700 or 800 minutes. And I don't know. I'm just curious. People that don't, like, what do you do? What do you do in your free time? Do you like read? I'm so curious. Like, what do you guys not mind sitting in silence? I do. I cannot sit in silence. I have to have something going on. I have to have at least one background noise or 17 background noises at the same time, all at once. Like, I have to be filled and consumed with media at all waking hours of my life. But my friends were saying that she listened to less music the whole year than you did in one day. The one day I listened to like 850 minutes of music. It was like 13 hours. My cousin texted me. She's like, that's like 13 hours of music. What were you doing? I was like, driving to Oklahoma. She's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah. Now I cannot remember what I was talking about. I'm so sorry. What was I talking about? Okay, moving on, I guess. Okay, here we go. Okay, back to the streaming services. The Oscars will be streamed live on Hulu March 2nd. Finally. You used to have to wait until the next day to be able to watch them. And I'm like, why? If you're making us pay all this money, why? Please just let us watch it. Like, you'll get so, like, they're always like crying and complaining that nobody's watching these shows, these award shows. And it's like, I wonder why. And maybe it's because satellite TV is $200 a month and no one's watching it anymore. So, but it'll be good because Conan is hosting this show, and I love Conan. Conan's one of my favorite celebrities of all time, and we can watch it on Hulu, you guys, live, and I'm so excited. So there's that. So the criminal Luigi, what is his name? Manganiello or whatever his name is. He is getting a documentary already. They are moving very fast, wasting no time, as most people do. Luigi Mangione. How do you spell his name? Luigi's Mansion. Nope, that is not what I want. Documentary. It's on Hulu. And there's another one on Netflix. Oh my gosh. It's called Manhunt. Luigi Mangione and the CEO Murder. A Hulu something. Oh, I don't want to do that. So I think you can watch it now. It's special edition 2020. When does it come out? I think it must be out. 1 season available, 1 episode. So there you go. Oh, here we go. It is, how long is it? Doesn't say. Investigating the secret life of the young man prosecutors allege gunned down United Healthcare's Brian Thompson. You see he has like his hair cut and his eyebrows threaded. Apparently, that's like the prisoner's way of saying they're taking care of him, they're protecting him, like they have his back, and it's kind of sending a message to the CEOs and stuff to be like, hey, you better think straight because we're protecting this guy and we agree with what he did to your friend. Also, I think he is in the same prison as Diddy, so that's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know much about this, and I fear that it's going to be a very, very, very long time before we hear anything or any kind of trial, because that's just how the judicial system, is that what you call it in America, is like. It takes forever and ever and ever and ever to do anything. Chicken nuggets are at Taco Bell, you guys. So there's that. I wonder why. Why chicken nuggets? Well, I know why. It's because they're delicious, and they probably need people to come in. The first thing that popped up was chicken nuggets that I typed in, and then Taco Bell. So it's a pretty popular topic, apparently. In a world where chicken nugget loyalty runs deep, Taco Bell is daring to push the boundaries of innovation yet again with the introduction of crispy chicken nuggets, the chain announced in a press release earlier this week. 5-piece and 10-piece. I don't want to agree to your cookies, sorry. The largest Mexican-inspired concept in the world. Interesting. That's not what I want. I want to look at the... oh, wow. Okay, so I think I knew this. Apparently it's owned by Yum. Yum is the main company. They own KFC, Taco Bell, Pizza Hut, and Habit Burger. Huh. That is interesting. See, I love knowing stuff like this. Like, this will do me no good, but now I know this stuff. And I can say, hey, did you know that this company owns KFC as well? Did you know KFC was started in Salt Lake City? I don't know why they kept the KFC name, but they did. 5-piece crispy combo chicken nuggets. You can do what is this? It comes with French fries and some kind of ranch. Fire ranch sauce. Oh, there's 3 different ones. Fire ranch, jalapeno honey mustard, and bell sauce. So there you go. Get your Baja Blast with it. You can get a side of nacho cheese. Actually, have you guys ever had Taco Bell's breakfast? It's probably one of the best breakfasts out there for a fast food company. Chick-fil-A's is still pretty good, and it's obviously the most healthy, but I will say Taco Bell, I don't go there for any other reason, honestly. And the only times I've been there on my own are for breakfast. And they're very, very, very good. So there is that. I don't know how long this is going to... Oh, it says limited time. So you better hurry. I was so excited when McDonald's and Wendy's brought back their chicken strips. Wendy's used to be called Chicken Selects, and I would get them like once a week probably. And their ranch, still the best ranch I've ever had in my life. I think about it quite often, honestly. And it's been gone. It's been gone for many, like 15 years, and I still think about it to this day, honestly. They brought them back for a limited time, and then they got rid of them, which is very unfortunate. Jim Carrey said he would reprise the role of the Grinch if he didn't have to do so much makeup this time, which he says is a possibility because of all the CGI and stuff. But he said doing all that makeup and stuff was just so hard and took forever, and he would never do it again just because of that. I swear Jim Carrey has said he's retiring 17 times in the last 5 years. But there's a new Sonic out, and he's in it again. So apparently that's not true. I hope it's not true because I love him. Have you guys seen that girl on TikTok? And she looks just like Jim Carrey. She's so funny. I don't know her name or anything, but she looks just like Jim Carrey. And she can do his like mannerisms and everything. If you want a good laugh, go and look it up. Rihanna was at Mariah Carey's concert the other day, and apparently she was the only one like dancing and having a good time in the audience. And Mariah Carey came out and was I don't know if she just went directly to her or if she was just walking around the audience and saw Rihanna, but she came over and Rihanna's like, here, sign something for me. And she's like, what? She's like, this. And she pushes out her chest and she starts signing her boob. And she takes the microphone out of Mariah's hand and is like, Mariah Carey is signing my boob, y'all. This is, I can't remember what else she says, but I'm like, girl, you are probably the only one that could do that. Because I just feel like if any other celebrity or anyone ripped the microphone out of Mariah Carey's hand, she would be livid. Like, she'd be so mad. But how do you get mad at Rihanna? Like, you can't. That's just not a thing you can do. So, yeah. Paris Hilton got her law passed by Congress. So now it goes to the president's desk. And, I mean, why wouldn't you pass this law? It was passed like 400... How many people are in Congress? I want to say it was like 430. How many people are in the world? Congress. 500. Oh, wait. How many members of Congress are there? There are a total of 535 members of Congress. 100 serve in the U.S. Senate and 435 serve in the U.S. House of Representatives. Okay, so it was 430. No, it was 405 of them passed this law unanimously, and only 30 didn't. And I'm like, what is stopping you from agreeing with this law? Let's see, what is the actual Stop Institutional Child? That's the first one that comes up. Institutional Child Abuse Act. Oh, I don't know if I can read all this. This is a lot. Basically, it's just like, I don't know if she's trying to get these places shut down or just more regulation in them, these camps. But she talks about how she was abused, like every kind of abuse you can imagine. She talks about, let's see, this bill establishes an interagency federal work group on youth residential programs to support and implement best practices regarding the health and safety, care, treatment, and appropriate placement of youth in youth residential programs. The work group must develop recommendations about a national database to aggregate information about processes and outcomes for the youth in such programs. The work group must also support the education and training of professional and paraprofessional personnel in fields that service such youth. Further, the Department of Health and Human Services must contract with the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine to study and make recommendations about various aspects of federal and state oversight of youth residential programs. So again, what is stopping you guys from voting on this bill? I'm just very curious. It was also a unanimous vote on who didn't vote for him. A unanimous side on who didn't vote for him. I'll let you figure out which side that is. So yeah, good for her. She went to the Capitol in Washington, D.C. She took her son, Phoenix. She says that she wanted her son to see her mom in action and doing something, worthwhile and helping people. And I think that's amazing. So yeah, it's like basically done, signed and sealed and delivered. I can't imagine the president not signing off on this. I mean, it's just basically educating people and making sure that creepy, weird pedophiles aren't in these whatever you call them, camps or whatever programs. So this is another thing I forgot last time too. Very important news. So Paris Hilton and Nicole Richie's new show is out, and they worked at Target the very first show, and so they've always why did I say Target? I do not know why I said that. I am so sorry. Sonic is where they worked. So they've always had this like tie with Sonic, and they have their own drinks now, which they look honestly pretty good. Well, Paris's looks good. Nicole's doesn't. So they're kind of like, well, maybe that's just whipped cream. So they're like slushies kind of. The custom drink menu aptly named Sonic. Sonic iconic drinks. That whoever came up with that is, they deserve a raise. That is so clever. Because Paris Hilton always says iconic, and she is iconic. Aptly named Sonic Iconic Drinks by Paris and Nicole features 2 drinks, the Paris and the Nicole, both available starting today at Sonic locations nationwide, each priced at $3.99 for a medium. The 2 drinks are inspired by the duo's larger-than-life personalities, combining bold flavors with a fun, trendy twist. The Nicole. Oh, people are going to love this one. I don't like Dr. Pepper, so it won't do much for me. Is a sleek and berry sweet featuring flavorful Dr. Pepper, sweet cream, vanilla flavor, and real strawberries, topped with whipped cream topping and more real strawberries. The Paris, this is one I would like, is fruity and fun and is sure to slay all day, featuring a refreshing crisp taste of Sprite. Oh, Sprite is the best soda out there, and I will fight anyone who disagrees with me, because it's just, there's no other drink that's comparable to it. Except for maybe Alani. Dragon fruit flavor, real lemon. Oh god, anything lemon. Honestly, the look of lemons, the taste of lemons, the color of lemons. Like, I just love lemons. And lime fruits topped with whipped topping and Nerds candy. Maybe I'll go get that. Maybe that'll be my Christmas Eve treat to myself. So yeah, go, and I haven't watched this new remake, but I have watched some of Paris in Love. It's her other reality show with her family and her husband, and it's really fun. It's like a good one to have on in the background because it's just kind of just easy to watch and stuff. 57 minutes. How long have I been talking? Speaking of drinks, I have decided I'm only going, after the first of the year, let's not get crazy here, I'm only going to drink Alani's when I record a podcast. And it's funny because, do you guys ever like think of something or like decide something, and then all of a sudden you see a TikTok about it or like a post about it or someone else talks about it, or you see like you just start seeing it. I was like, okay, I need to slow down on drinking them, but I need like it to be fun because I don't want to get sick of them. So I'm like, maybe I'll just have them when I record because it'll incentivize me to record my podcast and like get excited about it, you know. Not that I'm not already excited, but and then I like literally 10 minutes later I was on YouTube and I listened to like motivational things and you know, what am I trying to say? Influencers that are doing like top 10 habits to adopt in the new year, things to not do or whatever. And one of them was like, once I get to this milestone, I allow myself to have like a Jack and Coke, and it like makes me excited because it's like a reward to myself. And I'm like, I was just thinking about that with my Alani recording. So that being said, I will be putting out an episode every single day, twice a day. No, I'm just kidding. But I am trying to cut back because it's really not good for you, honestly. And I never used to drink any kind of liquid besides water and Sprite, honestly. And I wouldn't even drink Sprite that much. So the fact that I'm addicted to these is crazy. Plus, it's just, the price is just getting out of hand. They used to be more affordable, now they're not. Erica Jane, she's from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. She is returning as Roxy Hart in Chicago for a limited time. I think it's like a month. There's a new Superman trailer out. I wonder, is it coming to theaters or is it like I don't know, like a CW one? You know, how is CW? I saw a list of TV shows that have been canceled and ones that have been picked up, and they got to CW and they're like, CW is canceled, like there are only 2 shows they have going on. And I'm like, how is this channels still going. Like Riverdale, I think definitely gave them a bump in viewership until it went just like batshit crazy, you know. I think even then they got a lot, but expected July 11th, 2025, is directed by James Gunn. I think he did Guardians of the Galaxy. Guardians of the Galaxy. Slither. I forgot about that movie. That movie's weird. That movie's really weird. No, I want director. Sorry. Let me just get all these out of the way. Guardians of the Galaxy, Peacemaker, I don't remember that. Suicide Squad, is that the one? Yeah, that's the one that was on HBO. Oh no, it's not. It's the other one. Isn't it? Or is it the one? No, it's the one I was thinking of. It's the newest one. And it was cool, but it was kind of weird. I guess that's the only thing he's done. Let's look at this. He went from Slither in 2006. His next one was in 2008. 2013. I guess that's not that weird. It just seems like he hasn't done that much to be making these huge movies. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, and now Superman. Let's see. Sorry, let me get back to it. Follows the superhero as he reconciles his heritage with his human upbringing. He is an embodiment of truth, justice, and American way in a world that views this as old-fashioned. So I wonder if it's the same story again as all the others. Superman is played by David Cornsweet. I think that's how you say his name. He was in the show The Politician with Gwyneth Paltrow on Netflix, which I love that show. It was actually really good. What else is he in? He was in Twisters. He was the other evil guy that was always getting mad and being like, we have to stay on schedule. We have to do this. We have to do this. Oh, he was in Pearl. I didn't know that. The Politician. What else was he in? Oh, he was in... did you ever watch Hollywood? I like that one too. That one was really good. It's on Netflix. House of Cards. That's a show I want to watch. I never watched it. Anyway, you'd recognize him if you saw him, but I don't think I would be able to tell you. Anyway, the movie comes out July 11th, 2025. And it seems like it's coming to theaters. It's number 2 trending on IMDb right now, so it must be getting really popular. What else? I don't know. Did we ever talk about this? I have a feeling we kind of did, but also I have a feeling we kind of didn't. Carrie Underwood is the new judge on American Idol. And I feel like I've talked about this, but also I'm like, I saw a commercial, I'm like, huh. I mean, I guess that makes sense, but she makes a lot of money. We've already talked about how much she's made from this song, the football song, like a lot of money. She makes like 20 million a season, I think, just from that one song. That is crazy. What is next? Did you guys hear about that baseball player that just got signed? Have you heard his baseball player new contract, I guess you could say? Yeah, Juan Soto, $765 million. That's a 15-year deal. That's a long time. Okay. I mean, I guess that makes a little bit more sense, but that is a lot of money. And it's just frustrating because that's why, like, all these celebrities and all these movie stars and all these people that get these massive contracts, I mean, guess who has to pay for them in the end? Us. Us peasants have to pay for them in the end. That's why DirecTV goes up. That's why ESPN goes up. That's why Hulu goes up. That's why movie tickets go up. That's why, because they had to keep up with these crazy, insane contracts that they keep giving these people. I don't know. That's just a lot of money. Somebody divide that by 15. I'm not going to do it, but I guess that makes a little bit more sense. That's a pretty hefty contract, though. 15 years? I don't know. I feel trapped. But with, $800 million, I would feel a little bit better. They have finished filming Stranger Things. It is officially over, you guys. So sad. I thought at first it was just Noah Schnapp because he posted about it. He's like, I just filmed my last scene. But I guess it makes sense because they probably all filmed together, the last scene. And then Millie Bobby Brown also posted something on Instagram about it. But let's just see. This show has been going for 8 years. I still remember when the show came out. It was in July. I think I've already talked about this. But who was it? Who was the Olympic skier? He tweeted about it. He's like, thank you, Duffer Brothers. I'm like, that's weird. What is it? And then I just saw Duffer Brothers trending. And I was like, what is this? And I literally watched pretty much the entire first season in one day. Like, it was middle of summer. And I started watching. And all of a sudden I look outside and it's like pitch black. Like, I watched seriously all day long. But yeah, they both wrote like... what am I trying to say? Instagram posts about what it was like filming, and how much they've learned. And let's see, it says 2 days ago I wrapped my final scene as Will Byers, and I'm feeling very emotional as I close this chapter of my life. I can't help but be forever grateful for the incredible people that I've met and valuable life career lessons I learned through this decade journey. Here are the top 10 things I want to share with you. I'm not going to read them all, but the first one just says, the Duffer Brothers taught me that the creative process takes time and it's okay to be meticulous about creating perfect moments, which I, obviously agree with, because they very well make sure everything is perfectly lined up and everything. Also, I think I kept saying, my cousin's like, you keep saying that it comes out in 2026, but it's actually 2025. And I'm like, really? So the new season comes out next year, y'all. And that makes me really happy. So we won't have to wait as long as I thought. And I'm wondering if they're going to do it like how they did the last season. The last season is going to be hard to top, honestly. And I actually love the third season too. But I wonder if they're, because it was like a June release, the first part, and then the last part was like the end of July or beginning of August. And I'm wondering, are they going to do it then? I feel like if they just finished filming, they're not going to release it in the winter. I just have a feeling about that. So, but then my cousin's like, I think it's the end of next year, like November-ish. So I'm like, what do we expect? Kim Kardashian sadly, rudely gifted her friend Tracy a Cybertruck. I don't know why. I think just for Christmas or something. She used to be her assistant. And there's like a episode in the TV show where they have a kind of a sit down talk, and she's like, so you want to quit? She's like, well, I don't want to quit, but I just feel like I need to move on and do something else. I'm like, what could you move on and do something else with when you're Kim Kardashian's assistant? I'm sorry. There's nothing wrong with being an assistant, and especially an assistant to the first family of America. Like, literally. Like, why would you risk that? But obviously they've been keeping contact and are still good friends. And yeah, she gave her a Cybertruck, and I'd be like, oh, Kim, sweetie, please take this back. I don't want this. I wouldn't be surprised if she had some kind of deal with Elon Musk, because she's been promoting this Cybertruck for a long time now. And then that robot she had, we're like, Kim, we don't want this. We just want to be able to afford to buy a decent sized house and go on vacation. Not that I'm hating on her for being rich. I'm not. But, she's obviously at a different level of wealth where she's done everything and seen everything. And so now she's buying robots. And I'm just like, why would you give your friend the ugliest thing in the entire world? Honestly, why? Like, my one friend was saying that someone got in a wreck with the Cybertruck and the front panel fell off, and it was just glued. Like, it was just a bunch of glue everywhere holding the front panel on. Oh, I can't. I just cannot with them. They're so awful. Like, people thought PT Cruisers were bad. I'm like, just wait for another 10 years and then see what Elon Musk brings out. What else was I saying? There was a tweet I saw, and it said, there's only been, this was a while ago, so there's probably more obviously, but there's only been 3,000 Cybertrucks sold. So when you see one out in the wild, it's kind of like, oh, there's our village idiot driving around again. It's so true. That guy that got arrested, I don't think he got arrested, but he got pulled over in Utah after the Apple goggles came out, whatever, Vision Pro came out. I mean, the truck probably drives itself. The whatever, the ugly probably drives itself. So he didn't need to worry about driving really. But he was wearing his Apple Vision Pro in the driver's seat, driving a Cybertruck. And that was sadly in Lehi, Utah. I'm like, how embarrassing is that? Okay, a few more things. Sorry, I'm just a little chatterbox this morning. Justin Bieber is rumored to be releasing a new single called No Matter What. I got this information from some rando on TikTok, and I believe him. I believe every single word this man says. It's the first video I've ever seen of this guy. But I believe it, honestly. I do. And he's supposed to be having an album come out next year, apparently. This is the first I've ever hearing about this, but we'll see. Let's just hope it's not disgustingly awful like Yummy was. You know what other one his song I do like though? It's off the same album is Intentions. Is it Intentions or Only Intention? I don't know. I do like that song though. It's pretty good. Trisha Paytas is on the cover of Playboy. I hope it's not just a let's see. I hope it's not just a, what am I trying to say? Not an AI cover, a web exclusive cover. Because they do that sometimes. They'll have people on the covers of magazines, but it's only online. I'm like, that is so stupid. That is so dumb. But Trisha Paytas has always wanted to be on, what am I trying to say? Playboy. And I think she finally is. Internet megastar Trisha Paytas is thankful for the mess. Yeah, it's not looking like it's going to be an actual magazine. So, sorry to me, because I won't be able to buy this. I hate that. I also hate that they release the articles the same day as they release the magazine, because the magazines don't hit the stores and people just read the articles online. And I'm like, yeah, well, no wonder people aren't buying magazines anymore, because you're just giving them for free on online. So why would they go buy magazines? I don't know if this is an actual magazine or if it's just an article, but she finally made it to Playboy, which she's always wanted. This is interesting. Okay, this is a good two things to end on. Beyonce is rumored to be working with Kacey Musgraves. I saw this on Twitter, so I don't know much about it, but I love that. I don't know what it would be. You know what I mean? Also, don't forget the NFL Netflix show that's on Christmas, the game that's happening. Beyonce is performing and Mariah Carey is opening up. I think it starts at 4:30. I don't even know. I don't know if it's Eastern. I don't know if it's Western. I don't know what. Pacific. But yeah, so that's interesting. Okay, this last one I'm going to end on. So, you thought the It Ends With Us mess was over, and you are mistaken. It is not over. Blake Lively has retaliated. I guess that's probably not the right word to use. But she has filed a lawsuit against Justin Baldoni claiming sexual harassment and what am I trying to say? Not an unsafe work environment, but a toxic work environment. Apparently he would linger a little too long during kisses. He kissed her down her neck. He told her she smelled good. He would add things in that didn't need to be added in. Apparently the scene where she's giving birth, she wanted to be more covered up than she was, and she was not. And she asked it to be a closed set, and it wasn't a closed set. And apparently that day is the day that the big executives came in to watch the filming happening. What else happened? Apparently he would show her pictures of naked women on his phone. He would tell her about all the hookups he's had and how some of them were consensual. And text messages have been leaked from his team claiming that the PR stunt was to take her down, and then apparently she wasn't allowed to talk about the movie in in a serious way. She had to talk about it in a lighthearted way, which makes sense to why she was so claiming it to be a rom-com type thing, which I mean, in a sense it is, but it's also not. So people are like quickly going back to her side, which I'm not saying that she's lying. I'm not saying anything like that, but I'm still just not over the way she treats people in interviews and stuff. Like, that does not have anything to do with him. That is clearly her. People are saying it makes sense now why she brought in Ryan Reynolds to work on the movie. It's probably because she didn't want to be alone with him. Apparently he would, not Ryan Reynolds, but Justin would walk into her trailer as she was having like body makeup removed, and she was like naked pretty much. I can't remember who, it was her driver. They were driving somewhere, and Justin was talking to her about something inappropriate or something, and he got out, and the driver's like, I don't want you ever to be alone with him ever again. And so I don't know, it seems like a mess. Someone on Twitter was like, I think this is just a sign that we should never make a Colleen Hoover book into a movie ever again. Let's just end it with that. So yeah, apparently she had a writer, is what they call it, rewritten during the filming, and she would only start filming again if the needs were met. She didn't want to take over creative control. She just wanted to have more control because he was kind of like doing things he wasn't supposed to be doing. I don't know. And then some people are like, well, how do we know this is actually true and that AI hasn't doctored these texts and documents claiming that this is real? You know what I mean? Like, it's just so hard to believe. But I don't know. Maybe she was just mean in those interviews because she was stressed and annoyed about what was going on during the filming. It doesn't sound like it because I think there have been interviews in the past. Well, that one was in the past, so that couldn't have been. People were asking that lady, the one that kind of went viral of Blake Lively just being a total bitch to her. She's like, I had nothing to do with this whole takedown ploy of this movie. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Again, we'll see this play out for the next 5 years because the law system in America takes for freaking ever to do anything. Also, how exhausting would it be to be a lawyer? I would not want to be a lawyer. Seems like a lot of work. Anyway, that is it for me. Have a great Christmas, everybody. I hope you get everything you wanted. And if you didn't, that means you need to buy it for yourself, because we cannot wait for people to take care of us. We have to take care of ourselves. And I've been buying and wrapping my own Christmas presents for the last, I don't even know how long, 10 years. And I don't regret it. I love it. Everyone's like, you wrap your own like, people are so appalled when I tell them, like, I buy something and they're like, oh, have you used that yet? I'm like, no. They're like, why? I'm like, it's for Christmas. They're like, are you serious? I'm like, yes. I'm not going to buy something in December and use it. Although I did buy the Kylie Skin lip butter yesterday, and I had to use it because my lips were dry. I love it, honestly. I love that stuff. So if you're ever curious about a lip balm or a lip, I don't know, what am I trying to say? Chapstick. Like, if you have dry lips. Anyway, this is a good thing to buy. But yeah, I've been wrapping my own presents, and I open them on Christmas Day. And it's just so fun because you just collect all these things. I'm a gatherer, so that makes sense. And then you have all this stuff at once, and like the dopamine rush is just like so nice. I got the Kylie Cosmic spray for myself. I got Fabletics workout shorts. Oh, I get to pick it up today. My Dua Lipa live from Albert Hall vinyl is here. No, I don't have a record player, but I'm so excited because it's really pretty. What else did I get for myself? Oh, my Skims. I'm so excited I get to open those tomorrow. Anyway, I hope you all have a great Christmas. Oh, you guys, someone left a 24th 5-star review. And whoever you are, I want to give you a big old hug and a kiss. Unless you are family, then I don't want to do that. But thank you so much. It has been Linger at 23 for I don't know how long. Sign up for the Patreon page. You get 7 days free. And then after that, you get access to every single episode I've released on there. And it's $5 a month from thereafter. And yeah, we'll just have lots of fun. And here's to another year of, I mean, I guess I'll have one more episode before the next year, but it's basically the end of 2024, which is literally insane. Anyway, have a great Christmas, and like Hermione would say, Happy Christmas, Harry.